It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for season 11 of The Walking Dead. In this video we're going to be taking a look at a possible death clue that they put in season 11 episode 3. Now obviously if you haven't watched season 11 episode 3, you probably don't want to watch this theory video because obviously it will spoil a small moment from that episode. So we're going to take a look at that clue that they planted, which could be a clue about who could be getting Dwight's comic book death. Stay tuned, we'll be right back to break this down. Alright, as always, before we jump into this, if you're not a subscriber and enjoyed the content by the end, consider subscribing to join our community, share and smash the like button and press the bell to be notified when we upload on the channel. So with that said, let's dive right in. This is actually the moment that I'm talking about, which was in season 11 episode 3. We have a conversation between Carol and Rosita. Rosita tells Carol about a nightmare that she's been having, where she keeps seeing Abraham, who's trying to tell her something, warn her about something, but before she can hear him and respond, Abraham is shot in the head. Now, this is a cool moment because there's 3 different pieces to it. One is that it's a direct callback to how Abraham died in the show in the first place, because obviously before he could say anything, Negan hit him in the head with the baseball bat. So it's definitely a direct callback in that sense. The second piece of it is that it's an Easter egg to Abraham's comic book death. So if you remember in the comic book, Abraham was mid-sentence when he was shot in the head by Dwight. The arrow went through his eye and it was a gruesome scene. So I think that scene with Rosita telling Carol about her nightmare is an Easter egg to Abraham's comic death, because obviously, just like Rosita explained how she saw it in the dream, before Abraham could say anything, he was shot in the head and he was killed. Now what's funny is that Abraham's comic book death itself was called back to in the comics when Dwight himself died. Dwight, who killed Abraham in the comics. So obviously in the comic book, Dwight was mid-sentence threatening the leader of Commonwealth, Pamela Milton, when he was shot in the head by Rick himself. So as you see, even in the comic book, the way they killed Dwight, it was a callback or an Easter egg to how Abraham died in the comics. Abraham's death in the comics is not gonna happen now. It already happened. Denise, who was the Alexandria Safe Zone's first doctor, was the one that got Abraham's comic death. But on the other hand, Dwight's comic death is just around the corner. Well, not really just around the corner, but it'll definitely happen in 11B, which is the second third of season 11. Now, of course, there was a lot of speculation who could get Dwight's comic death. Alden is one character that comes up quite frequently when people are predicting that particular comic death. Aaron is another one. Negan is another one. And Father Gabriel also is one that's been theorized to get this comic death. Now, when it comes to Alden, I think it's definitely a possibility, and him getting Dwight's death could fit. Now, when it comes to Aaron, I don't necessarily think that it would work. I just don't see it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of missing pieces at the moment for Aaron to be able to get the Dwight death and for it to make sense. With Negan, it gets a little tricky as well, and I don't think it works quite as well. Father Gabriel is also on the same boat as Aaron. I don't think that it makes sense for him to get that. However, as a follow-up to what Rosita said, I think that might be where they're going with it, and that scene with Rosita telling Carol about her dream could be a clue or an Easter egg about Father Gabriel getting Dwight's comic death. I still don't think it'll work well, but they teased it, so what you gonna do? And the reason why I'm saying Gabriel in the first place is obviously because Rosita and Gabe are together. So if Rosita's dream or nightmare is hinting at anyone's death, it would be either herself or Gabriel. The way she told the dream leads me to think that they're setting it up to be Gabriel and not Rosita herself. But that's pretty much everything that I wanted to go through in this video. Again, I still don't think it makes sense for Gabriel to get Dwight's comic death, but At this point, this is definitely a solid clue that might be in fact where they're going with it. I'm definitely interested to know everyone's thoughts and opinions about this. Do you think Gabriel could be getting Dwight's comic death? And if you do, let me know how you think it'll work, because I just don't see it. Aside from this clue that they just planted in season 11 episode 3, there is nothing pointing towards Gabriel getting Dwight's comic death. So I'm definitely interested to know why everyone thinks that it makes sense for Gabe to get that death. So share your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe to join our community, share and smash the like button, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.